When I watch what unfolded in the East Coast, and things like that happen, I'm just reminded of how fragile and unpredictable life is. And you can be going along in your life and just, things can happen that you never dream of or expect to happen. And your life can be changed forever. And that's part of life. That's really a part of life. And to me, that means it's just that much more important that we really do learn to live in the moment. And that each day that comes, we be grateful for the day that has come. And live that day fully in whatever way we can. Every day that we go about our lives, it's often the case that we have challenges in our life, we have difficulties at work and at home, and that's a part of life too. But wherever we are, and in the midst of all that, we have opportunities to be present and to look in the eyes of people and to really think about who they are and that they're a child of God too, and to be grateful for them and to look around and be grateful and to just say thank you every day in some way for the day that comes. And one of the important ways I think that we acknowledge our place in the universe is that we remember that there have been many people who have walked before us on this earth. And that we would not be who we are, where we are, and have the life that we have if it wasn't for the people who have gone before us. And some of them we have no idea who they are. Some, just to give an example, there are people who worked to make this country who it is and gave themselves in a variety of different ways. And we stand on the shoulders of those people. And then some of them are family members. And we do know who they are. We either know them because we lived with them, or we know them because they were a part of our life, and we've heard the stories about them. And what I'd like to do today is just to take a few moments with our community here to acknowledge those folks in our lives, and to think for a little bit about the people who have given their lives for us, who went to work and put food on the table, who raised us up and taught us things, who surrounded us with their presence at family gatherings and community gatherings, and who in some way or another helped to make us the people that we are. And what I'm going to invite folks to do is that we have candles that are lit up front already, and then other candles. If you didn't bring a candle, that's all right, because I think we've got more than enough. What I would invite you to do is to come forward, and if you wish, to stop at the microphone and to say the name of the person. And if you want to talk a little bit about the person, feel free to do that as well. And then to light a candle, and then to sit down. And we'll just give enough time for everyone who wants to do that to come up and to take part in that. And we'll just we'll build our little cloud of witnesses here of candles that represents all of the people who have touched this community's lives. And I'll begin. I'm very fortunate that my parents are still living. I'm also very fortunate because I grew up surrounded by a large extended family. And I have to say that one of the things, as much as I love being here, and I really love being here in Minnesota, the thing I miss the most and wish that I had for my own children was that sense of being surrounded by extended family, because that was so important for me growing up. And all four of my grandparents I grew up with, and they were all very important in my life. The first grandparent that I lost was my grandfather, Raymond, my dad's dad. And he was worked in a shop and retired and lived to hunt and to fish, and gave that love of the outdoors and fishing and hunting to me and my whole family, which is very important. And when I was 16 years old, we were walking up the mountain on a very snowy, cold day in Pennsylvania with my dad and my uncle and my grandfather, and he had a heart attack and died. And so when I get to this time of the year, when it's getting fall outside and hunting season and deer season, the deer opener here in Minnesota, I think about my grandfather Raymond. So I light a candle for him. I'll try to light a candle for him. And feel free, as you're moved, to come up.
This is for Richard Ridgway, my cornerstone, my dad.
I'm lighting a candle in memory of my maternal grandmother, Laura Van Zahern. I am her namesake. She nurtured me in so many ways, and I feel that my most important values of family and the natural world and so many traditions came down to me through her, and I think of her not just in the fall, but always. She was a wonderful person. So I'm lighting a candle for her.
Hi, I'm Laura. Let's see. My mother's father, Grandpa Byron Wade Stunkard, he's on my mind a lot, and but I gotta go to my father's mother, Lula McQuitty Braddock. We called her Grandma Susie. I have no idea what the deal is, but it really fit her, and she's just with me all the time, and I like that this new ancestry thing gets into more instead of just time, like when things happen, that you actually get to know the person more. And she was in the DAR, and my granddad and her lived in Washington, D.C., and he's a patent attorney like my father. And so just just trying to eke out what it was like for her. She passed away at 97, and her mother lived to 100, and now Grandma Susie's son, my father, is now 90. How old am I? 55. So he's 95. So I got a long ways ahead of me, and and just thinking of her is it's pretty cool. So she keeps me company.
Tuesday, November 6th, my dad, Will Drovic. Remember him?
It'll be 9 years this December that my dad passed away, and I admired him so much. I remember one time when I went up to visit and had this old car, and the glove compartment broke. And he looked at it and said, "Oh, you're missing a spring in there." And I thought, well, great, where am I going to find one of those? And he's like, well, no problem. So he went into the garage, and he actually made a spring to fit in this glove compartment. I just had so much admiration for what he could do. But the thing I loved about him best was he was so delighted to have his kids. I mean, he was 150% devoted to our family, and I think every child should be loved the way he loved me and my siblings. So this is for my dad.
I just had like a ton of people run through my mind, and every one of them was so special, and I couldn't pick and choose. So I'm going to do like the native Dakota people would say, is all my relations.
This year I lost 2 uncles and an aunt, and Joe Brown was my uncle and mother's brother-in-law. And we also lost Alan Graham and his wife Jean. Alan was mother's brother too, so I'm going to light 3 candles.